some people come with their own specifications, so it depends on what you want. But then if you want original stuff, just as you find fake stuff in China, you also find original stuff here in China. Why like that, Wada Jen? Welcome back to my channel. Guys, if you've been watching my videos, you know I've been living in China for some time now. What are some of the misconceptions you've heard about China, or the untrue stuff you've heard about China? Well, I'm here to share what I know. If it's something you like to watch, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So the first one is everything in China is fake. Well, is everything in China fake? I do not agree, because I've been living here for some time now. You can get fake stuff in China, you can get original stuff in China. And there are some group of people who also tell you the amount of money you spend on a product will tell you how fake or how original or authentic that product is, okay? And I'm here to tell you it's a lie. You can spend so much on a product and you end up buying fake. And you can also spend less on a product and you end up buying original. You just have to know the right source to buy from, okay? Yeah, so not everything in China is fake. China produces fake stuff. They also produce original stuff, yeah. And for you to know, some people come with their specifications. So let's say I wanted a product that looked like a Samsung product, okay? They'll make something similar for you, but they'll change the name, okay? They'll change the name to maybe Mama C, okay? Instead of Samsung, they'll put Mama C, okay? And you think it's fake. Well, that is fake, okay? So like I said, some people come with their own specifications, so it depends on what you want. But then if you want original stuff, just as you find fake stuff in China, you also find original stuff here in China. The second misconception is that Chinese kids are made to produce or manufacture stuff. Guys, where did people hear this from? Where do people get this from? There are factories here in China that produce or manufacture these things, okay? Kids manufacturing stuff is child labor. Do you know that? Do you know it's child labor? Yes, it's child labor. No kid in China manufacture. Well, maybe they would manufacture as a hobby, but not something they would want to sell. Even if they would want to sell, like I said, as a hobby, maybe they're doing something in their school, so they are selling for parents to come and buy, or maybe a fanfare or something, but not for the rest of the world, or not for the country to come and buy from them. No, there are factories here that produce the things we see, okay? Yeah, so kids are not made to manufacture or to produce stuff, okay? It's not true. And then the next one is China is so populated that there's no space for people to move around. Guys, it's not true. That is not true. In as much as China is one of the countries with the I think the second most populated country in the world. Yeah. The first is India, right? So I think the second is China. Yeah. In as much as China is the second most populated country in the world, there's still space for everyone. Okay, there is space for everyone. If there wasn't space, I wouldn't even be here. China wouldn't be able to accommodate me. Okay, the fact that you find people from other countries coming into China means that there is space for everyone. Not long ago, there was the Canton Festival, and people from all over the world came, okay, for this festival or for this fair, okay. So it means that there is space for everyone. The only time a place is overcrowded here in China is let me give you an example. It's during peak hours, okay. The peak hours in the mornings and in the evenings, usually around the city centers, okay, because most people go to work around the city center. So obviously you expect the place to be crowded, okay. And it's the same thing in our countries, okay. Where I'm coming from, when you go to the city center, you find out that during peak hours the place is crowded. It's the same here in China. And at the metro stations, okay, or at the subway stations, in the mornings and in the evenings, when people are going in, people are coming out, okay, you find the places are crowded. And also during holidays, because these are the days people get to visit tourist sites and what have you, okay. So like I said, holidays, so everyone is home around that time, and so they would like to visit these tourist sites, okay. So you find out that these sites or these places are overcrowded, okay, which is very normal. But China is not so crowded that people are not able to walk around, okay. The next one is there are no churches or mosques here in China. That is also not true, okay. Do you know there are Chinese Muslims? Do you know there are some restaurants called Chinese restaurants, okay? Yes, so there are mosques here in China, and there are churches here in China as well, okay. Not owned by foreigners, but owned by Chinese people. And even the priests in these churches are also Chinese people. Here in Nanjing, my city, right, I've seen the Seventh-day Adventist church and then the Catholic church, okay. So yes, so there's a Catholic church here, there is the SDA or the Seventh-day Adventist church, and then I've seen some other church here as well, okay. Yeah, and then Christians from other backgrounds are also allowed to fellowship here. The only thing is that you just have to follow their rules and regulations, okay. You just can't come and then do anything all in the name of, worship, okay. Yeah, but there are churches and there are mosques around. So if you're a church goer, if you're a believer of Islam, don't be scared. When you come, you can worship here, okay. The next one is teaching is the only job available to foreigners. I'm here to tell you it's not true. It's not true, okay. Well, I think people are saying teaching jobs because it's the commonest job one can do as a foreigner. But I have friends who are into other businesses. I have friends, if you've been watching my videos, I recently interviewed someone who said he worked with a Chinese company, okay. Yeah, there are people who work in Chinese companies, like I said earlier, okay. Yeah, so teaching is not the only job available to foreigners, okay. The next one, everyone knows Kung Fu in China. Before I came to China, that's what I used to think, okay. That's what I also used to think, that everyone knows Kung Fu. Well, some parents take their kids for Kung Fu lessons on weekends, okay, but not everyone in China knows Kung Fu. Some people do not even have interest in Kung Fu, okay, so not everyone in China knows Kung Fu. It's interesting how people do not live in China, but they are able to make, some of these things up. Well, not only about China, but you realize that if you say you are from a particular country, then someone will be like, oh, so this thing goes on in your country, until you tell the person it's not true, okay. Yeah, so Kung Fu, not everyone knows Kung Fu here in China. The next one is that Chinese people only eat rice. Is that true? Well, I wouldn't say that is false, okay, but Chinese people have other foods they eat. I'll put some on the screen for you to see with their names, okay. Yeah, Chinese people do not only eat rice. There are other foods here, only that if you are coming from a place like Ghana, you may not find the kind of foods you eat, okay. Like I said, if you're coming from a place from Ghana, you may not necessarily find the kind of foods you eat in Ghana here in China. But Chinese people do not eat rice, okay. You find something similar, okay, or you improvise with the kind of ingredients they have here, okay. Another misconception, I don't know if this is a misconception, okay, but even Well, the reason why I said I don't know if it's a misconception is that even Chinese people say they're a developing country. My dear, from where I am coming from, I come from Ghana. China is never a developing country. No. Well, maybe I've not been to the developing areas, but in Nigeria where I live, it is developed. I have been to other cities, other places, and they are equally very, very, very developed. Okay, so I don't know why people are saying, or the Chinese themselves are saying that China is a developing country. I do not agree. So for me, it's a misconception. Okay, and then the last on my list is that all Chinese people look the same, my dear. It's not true. Yes, so they'll look the same to you if it's your first time here in China. Okay, yeah. So if it's your first time, you think they all look the same. But if you've lived with them for a while, you can tell person A from person B. Okay, yeah, guys. So these are a few misconceptions that I remember. Okay, if you have anything, if you have any misconceptions, or if you've heard of any misconceptions, please write that in the comment section. Guys, if you enjoyed watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.